Your smartphone is robbing you of your future. Right now, inside that smartphone, a line of proprietary code is actively calculating exactly how much ambition you have left. You think that phone is a tool. You think it's just a harmless device used for communication and entertainment. Well, it is also a highly weaponized, multi-billion-dollar psychological trap by design.
A new study shows it happens more than you know.
It's a lot of work.
As if writing a doctoral thesis at UW-Madison weren't enough work, consider what Mary Allison is focused on.
I do historical linguistics in German.
Poring over old letters and correspondence written in German, it requires her undivided attention.
A lot. It's really, really easy to get distracted when you're working on something like that.
And if you're looking for a distraction, you don't have to look far.
No, it's never very far away. Yeah, I'm pretty attached to it at this point.
And if you think Mary is alone in instinctively reconnecting,
and sometimes I don't even remember why I reached for it.
well, think again.
Pretty much, and I find that the more I use it, the more I want to use it.
Dr. Stephen Block is a neurologist with SSM Health. He says a study done at the University of Texas confirms the connection we have with smartphones.
Many people just use their smartphones as much as 85 times a day.
The Texas study looked at whether the mere presence of a smartphone is a distraction. It found that simply having a smartphone nearby impairs cognitive function and problem solving.
Whether it was face up or face down didn't make a difference. Whether it was in your pocket or in your purse didn't make a difference, but when it was out of actually physically removed, it did.
Which is why, when a singular focus is needed, not having a smartphone handy might make you a little smarter.
Especially if there's something that I'm working on with my dissertation that requires a lot of attention. I will turn off the sound, I'll put it in a drawer just to get it out of sight, out of mind.
The algorithms controlling the apps that are on your cell phone, they aren't just trying to steal your time. What they're doing is mapping your cognitive vulnerabilities in order to ensure you remain compliant, distracted, and financially stagnant. And they've qualified your attention span, and they're shortening your future. And this is, you can just think about it intuitively. When you leave your cell phone home and you have to go back and get it, it's almost as if we left an appendage. Okay, you leave your right arm at home. That's how attached we have become as individual human beings and as a society to the smartphone. Big tech, they don't just want clicks. They need you poor enough to remain dependent on their platforms and distracted enough to never build actual leverage. And there are a lot of traps out there. We talk about them on this channel. The powers that be want you to be a consumer, okay, not someone who acquires assets and leverage. And the smartphone goes a long way into that design. So in this video, I'm going to expose the hidden architecture of the code designed to drain your wealth. And we're also going to discuss a tactical strategy, a counter strategy that you really need to deploy today in order to break this loop. Now, I'm deploying it because that guy said that we pick up this smartphone 85 times a day. I actually think I may pick it up more often than that. What about you? Let me know in the comments. Every major tech platform runs on what engineers call predictive behavior modeling. Let's call it what it actually is, which is vulnerability mapping. So the ghost in the machine, it tracks everything. And we know this because you've had occasion to mention a song or a product, and what do you know? Just seconds later on Facebook or whatever app you're using, there is a mention of that app or that product rather. The exact millisecond that you linger on a post, the time it takes for you to linger on a post, all of that is tracked. The hour of the night that you're most likely to aimlessly scroll, the specific emotional state that makes you pull out your credit card, all of that is quantified, qualified, tracked, and we're subjected to that inside these algorithms. You have to realize to a large extent when we pick up these devices, we're being controlled. We have to take back control in order to get the most out of life, in order to be as productive as humanly possible. Remember, some of us watching this are old enough to remember when we could go a whole day without interacting with a computer or a smartphone. Those days are over. So we have to be very cognizant of how these devices affect our physiology, our mental state. When the algorithm detects that you're tired, lonely, or burned out from your day to day job, it doesn't show you educational content or business strategies. What it does is it drops your brain's baseline. It deliberately feeds you low effort, high outrage content or hyper targeted impulse triggers. Why does it do this? Because a hyper stimulated brain is submissive and highly susceptible to suggestion. When your focus is shattered, your long term planning centers, they shut down. You stop thinking about building equity, acquiring assets, or scaling a business, or even how you're going to enhance your family life and get the most out of that and show your loved ones, how interested in them you are, or have experiences. All of that shuts down. Instead, your brain demands immediate comfort. So you spend money on things you don't need to impress people you don't like, using energy you should have invested in your own sovereignty. People do this all day long. Edward Bernays, the father of modern marketing, he linked psychology to consumerism, and we've paid the price literally and figuratively ever since. So the code that has been established, it's working as intended. It's working to convert your potential wealth into platform revenue, revenues that you don't see. Okay, this goes to other companies. It saps not just your financial strength, but your mental acuity, as well as we heard in the report earlier. All right, and it's very important to keep in mind that this is not a conspiracy theory. We all know how these things work. This is an economic model. Call it a dopamine tax, if you will. The wealthiest institutions in this world, they know that the ultimate form of currency, or one of them, in addition to oil, gold, human attention spans, eyes on target, eyes on screens. If they can basically get in there and control what you look at, think about YouTube's algorithm, which shows you what you want to see. It's perfected to a fare thee well. Facebook, some of the other platforms as well. If they can control what you look at, they can control what you value. And if they can control what you value, then dictate your bank account and also that time account that you can't deposit any more into. All right. You're born with a certain amount of time. And I don't care if you're Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Tyrone Keys. If you lose 5 minutes, you can't get it back. All right. So think about this. The executives designing these algorithmic traps, they don't let their own children use them. In the video from yesterday, we saw some of the executives, one of the executives discussing that. Silicon Valley elites pay tens of thousands of dollars to send their kids to tech-free schools where they handle physical books and, physical items. All right. So if they know this and they won't let their kids touch it, that should tell you a lot. Absolute focus is the ultimate competitive advantage. These executives at these tech companies, they know that. They're raising a generation of creators while using the code in your pocket, this device right here, to turn you and your children into a generation of mindless digital tenants. Every hour you give to the machine is an hour you didn't spend building your business or your life. It's an hour you didn't spend learning a high value skill or somehow capturing market share. So, in effect, with these devices, in a way, we're trading our financial freedom, our uh, precious time for cheap digital garbage. And that is why I decided to change the focus of the Soldiers of Finance channel to talk about more substantive issues. We got everybody out there talking about politics, and I'm not throwing shade at them, but I think that even if we sacrifice views or subscribers, we want to be substantive. Okay. So if you're going to beat a machine that's designed to keep you poor, you can't fight it on willpower alone. You have to change the rules of engagement. You have to change your entire mindset. Okay. And so let's talk about some tactical methods to actively break this poverty code. All right, step one. All right, let's sever the feedback loop. So turn your phone to absolute grayscale. Take away all of the bright red notifications, the colorful candy coated screen, bubbles, flashy colors. These are designed, this type of environment is designed to trigger dopamine receptors. So if you make the machine boring, okay, strip it down to essentials, you won't be so much more likely to tap one of the many icons that are on your screen. Step two, you've got to just totally delete the predictability factor. So take out those apps, delete those apps that hold your highest screen time during business hours. If you have to use them, access them only via a desktop browser. Force friction, basically, into your day to day routine. What do I mean by friction? Well, make it not as easy to activate that Facebook app, right? If you got to go to your desktop to do it, maybe you'll say, nah, it's not really that important. Okay. So you got to make it hard for the machine to find and feed you. Okay. All right. Attention arbitrage. So for every hour you spend consuming content on a platform, spend two creating. Okay. Building relationships, your bank account, your business, a monetization strategy for whatever it is you are involved in. You have to shift from the product being mined. Okay, right now we are the product on these platforms. Okay, switch from that to the operator. Okay, being the operator, being the one that sits outside and takes advantage of the monetization capability, the ability to leverage time that these apps offer. And you just got to you got to remain cognizant of the fact that the system is built to keep you scrolling until you just become a drooling, mindless automaton that is ready to open their bank account, is ready to spend much more valuable time on these applications. Turn around, 20 years have passed, and what have you got for it, right? It's kind of like watching the news. Most of the news doesn't even apply to you, but we're caught in this loop where we gotta watch it, right? I haven't watched the news network, local or cable, in 20 years. All right, we're gonna make a video about that. You gotta cut this invisible tax on your potential. The moment you step out of this loop, though, you immediately gain an unfair advantage over 99% of the population that's still on this digital plantation. They're drowning in the feed. You need to be out there executing on your plans. Okay? A lot of people are going to watch this video, agree with it, with the video, and then go right back to scrolling. You need to make the choice that you're not going to be one of those. Okay? The machine is going to win a lot of people back. Will it be you?